are they, halftime over there at LSU?
Yeah, it's halftime.
Silent treatment in your car, baby, we don't need to talk. Sorry if I'm making this hard. Now I'm just wondering where we are. I don't wanna face the consequences, but baby, yeah, you know I hate second guessing. I'm just wondering where we are. Drifting into space, keep driving on the freeway. Baby, let me know what you are thinking. Baby, let me know what you are thinking. Overthinking out there in the clouds, drifting on and on and then for hours.
Recover One Drones here. Remember that footage we shot last week with Litchi? Here's the edited version right here. Thank you.
Amazon hates this, but there's nothing they can do to stop it. There's a new intelligent drone shaking up the photography industry, and it's so advanced, even the U.S. Product Safety Commission is trying to classify it as military-grade surveillance equipment. But the government isn't the only one upset. Major drone brands are scrambling to lobby against it, but the company behind it, they're not backing down, and they've already sold over 2 million units in the past 30 days. That's because they're cutting out the middleman and refusing to sell through big box retailers like Amazon or Walmart. By going direct to customers, they've slashed the price, finally making professional-level drones accessible to everyone. This drone, called StealthBird, is unlike anything you've ever seen. It's been featured in major outlets like NBC, Fox News, and CNN for its incredible design and affordability. It is packed with advanced features like Follow Me technology, allowing you to capture stunning cinematic footage of yourself without touching the controller. The high-precision GPS tracking system follows your location within 3,000 feet and automatically returns to you if the battery runs low or when the signal weakens. And here's the best part. It has collision detection, so it's virtually crash-proof. Even beginners can fly like seasoned pros. The story behind StealthBird is what really sets it apart. It was created by 2 former engineers from a major drone company who were fed up with their employer's unethical practices. One of the engineers, Robert, revealed how the company kept raising prices on drones to ridiculous levels, charging $700 for a model that
Let's talk about controlled airspace and how you as an individual, or you work for an agency, or do you support a local agency with obtaining a coverage of an authorization. On your COA, once it gets approved, or if it gets approved, it'll have latitude and longitude information as far as the home point, which would probably be the local airport that you are gaining access into the controlled airspace. And that's what be the longitude and latitude degrees of be on your COA. Also, you look down where it says radius. Now, you can ask for a smaller area where you may be flying at, or in my case, I have a blanket area or / wide area coverage, which means I can fly in the entire city of San Bernardino. As you see here on the FAA's visualization map, this is my city, and all the green boxes are controlled airspace. Now, as you look at this, you can tell that anywhere between 80% of my city is controlled airspace. Now, the only thing it's not is the far north end where I reside at, which is above the 210 freeway, which is basically a good measure of boundary far as in controlled airspace in my city. Anything north of 210 is pretty much going to be G space, and you go into the city of Rialto, or you go down to the areas of Grand Terrace into High Grove, unless you go out to the far edges past Redlands, California, and go out to the county area where you have Mentone area, you go back into. And what happens is this area has overlapping controlled airspace. You have San Bernardino Airport is the main source, and then Redlands has a small airport to the, would be your, I guess my right, which would be east of San Bernardino. And then over here, as you get past Fontana, you pick up Ontario International Airport airspace. So all those gaps between is Class G. And if you go towards the Cahoon Pass, which is up where I live at area, that's Class G in that area. And then you have the darker green spots, which is the National Forest area. And this is why it's important, as you being especially a 107 pilot, that you may have to apply for these different type of authorizations. I don't want to use the term waiver, because waiver is different than a coverage of authorization. Okay, don't confuse a waiver for a coverage of authorization. A waiver is a specific exemption outside of the normal rules set within Part 107. Like before last year, you had to get a waiver as a Part 107 to fly at night. That is out. It used to be outside the normal guidelines for a commercial pilot. Now that it's included, you no longer have to seek that waiver. Coverage of authorization is basically gives you the authorization to fly in a controlled airspace. So there is a difference between what a waiver is and what a coverage of authorization is. Okay, so don't get those confused. They're two different set of categories of what a waiver is and what authorization is. But it would help you overall if you work in an area on a routine basis or annual basis or whatever to apply for coverage of authorizations to fly there. This is just one less step you have to worry about when you go out and fly. And depending upon how close you are to an airport and everything else, you still might have to take the steps of contacting, if it has LANC, go through the LANC approval or anything else. But what happens is once you have that form from the FAA, you use that document to go to DGI, and you go to the custom unlock portion of DGI, and you submit that document as your authorization to fly that area. And that way DGI will permanently unlock your drone, or drones in my case, several drones, on a regular basis until that authorization expires. Now I just renewed mine, so it picked up from 2021 to 2023. I think it's November 2023 when my current one will expire, and I will renew that probably a month or two before and continuing on as I so need to do so. So just one thing you can do that less have the headaches if you're a commercial flyer to not have to worry about certain things in the long run. Because you use that form to send to DJI, as I said before, and DJI will unlock your drone on a continuing basis, so you no longer have to go through the unlocking process on site. It'll already be unlocked, and this is another reason why I use my phone as a internet hotspot, because when you do unlocking, or you need to have unlocking done on your drone, and as in my case it's automatically unlocked, it still continues to need to have internet access for that purpose. Now if you're using a tablet to fly with, or even a phone to fly with still, it needs to have internet access, so when you go to that area where it's controlled airspace and you hit that key for unlocking licenses, which is in the menu option of all your drones, no matter if you use the Fly app, the Go 4 app, or the original Go app, or even the Pilot app, it has a section there for authorizations, unlocking license, and that license will be there, and you can slide it over where it's green, where it's active, or you can deactivate it if you're flying outside that area. And one more tip I would tell you, that if you forget to turn that tab off and you're in Class G space, you may get unable to fly. Because I've tried to tell people this before. Some don't believe me, some have tried it for themselves and found out what I said is true, is that if you're flying in controlled airspace and you go into Class G airspace, your authorization does not recognize the Class G airspace any longer. It treats it as another controlled area. So if you're flying on the borders of a controlled area, Class D, C, whatever the case may be, E, and you go over to a Class G area, your drone will stop as if it went into another class area where you don't have authorization, and if you stay there too long, your drone will go into self-landing mode. Trust me with this. That's what will happen. So once again, this is Dre Crawford, Recover One Drones. If you like what I'm saying, or if you don't like what I'm saying, subscribe, click the like button, hit the unlike button, leave a comment. We can talk about it. I'm all about open debate and discussion, and I'm sure we can come to common ground. So once again, hang on, enjoy the ride, and please subscribe. Thank you.
What takes 7 minutes to cook has up to 22 grams of protein, only 6 grams of net carbs, and is 100% plant-based. Hey,
But you got me now.
I'm done spending an obscene amount of money on takeout every week. Done.
I'm getting back on track with Factor.
Fresh, never frozen meals.
As the demolition nears the halfway point, what was once the Montgomery wards, Woolworths and movie theater are now gone.
$1,000, $5,000, or even $10,000, spending all your savings on a high-quality watch? There's a
Folks, Ray Crawford here. Yesterday we had a fire in the historic Harris building, and today I'm out doing a visual inspection of the damage that has taken place, and I'm not going to make any assessments right away without having a more close evaluation. But we just want to take a look at the superficial exterior of the building itself, which was attached to the old Central City Carousel Mall. So here we go. Coming up on the building, doesn't look like there was any exterior damage to speak of. But like I say, well, anytime you have a fire from within, you have to worry about structural integrity. And it's always going to be the main problem here is what is the structural integrity of the building, which means it has to be a more in-depth, from the inside out look of the property itself. We can see the scorching of one of the, I believe that's a window from right there. We're going to get down a little lower. As we get a little closer, you can start seeing some of the exterior damage that has taken place. You can see how the roof has started to sink in different sections, which we talked about structural integrity. Now I would have to come out with my thermal drones for even a more in-depth analysis of the roof, which will give me a little more detailed information. But this right there tells me on the naked eye that there is definitely some roof damage, and it talks about what's going to be the extent of that damage. The Harris Company was what I call the original mall of San Bernardino. The Harris Company had a little bit of everything within it. You can go inside the Harris Company and buy pretty much anything you needed for your household, wardrobe. You can see here on the top of this area here where the fire was very intense. You can tell by the scarring, and it's still smoldering, which would be an excellent use of a thermal drone. I could show you the heat signature that is still coming off right here. And when you still have smoldering, which means that we still could have the potential of a fire that could reignite. So we're going to raise up a little bit here, continue our circle, because as you can see in the background of this, where the rest of the old mall used to sit, it is very unfortunate that we have situations like this. I'm not going to make any assertions of who, what, where, and why this fire occurred. But like I say, the Harris Building, architecturally speaking, is a very unique and well-designed building. But when you have damage of this magnitude that I'm just assessing right now, as far as that roof, that's significant damage, and who knows what's actually been damaged on the interior side of the house. So there you have it, a little more in-depth view of the Harris fire. That happened yesterday, Monday, and we can always say, you know, thank you to the firefighters that came out here, especially in the extreme conditions that were presented to them with this fire. The fire was kind of late in the afternoon, which is the high levels of heat that we have. So I know our fire department, I should say the county fire department, has the necessary tools like I have as far as drones, but due to the high heat, a drone would not have been that effective. Especially, I know they have a thermal drone like I have, and it would have been more of a hazard situation using a drone due to the high heat of the ambient temperature and the extra heat coming up from the building itself. So once again, there you have it, folks. A little more of a detailed look of the Harris fire. My outside analysis of the damage that may occur not to get inside the building. Once it is deemed safe to do so, we actually know what the amount of damage that has occurred due to this fire. Thank you.
Some may say, what is the big deal? It's just a road. This short section took 60 years. One day this road will extend to 5th Street and provide a much needed corridor for the west side of San Bernardino.
The click stick.
Recovery One Drones. How we doing today? Our city, just like many other cities, our mall has been in a downturn for many years, and now it's come to the point where we've actually have sold the property and now we're about to demolish it. So what I'm going to be doing here is taking a flight of the existing mall. It has fencing around it now, and we're going to I say get a picture of it, a little bit of video of it, some pictures of the mall in its current condition, and then as the demolition continues, I will take further pictures of the different phases of the demolition until it's completed, and then I'll, like I say, get a full video of it then, the completion of the demolition. Slowly, I'm using the Fimi 2 Pro. It has auto tracking on it, and as long as you don't move too fast, it will track you, which is a nice feature I like. Okay. We're going to go into manual flight.
Point has been updated. Please check it on the map.
Okay, let's back up a little bit here. Go back to the previous page. Got to make sure I turn on my geo-fencing. Okay, it's valid. Good to go. So we are good to go. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and fire the drone up. There we go, we're tracking now. I'll try to move a little slowly. Let me see if I can get the drone in the picture while we're at it. There you go. Turn a little more and we'll go from there. Turn on our beacon. We're gonna get to altitude about 250 feet to start off with. It's about a safe altitude to fly around in the downtown area. We don't have hardly any tall buildings here. I hear aircraft nearby. Small Cessna, so we're gonna hold right here until it clears us. So that way we don't get in its way, and, and God forbid it gets in our way. All right, it's turning off to a northwestern direction so we can continue. I like using or having the use of the Mavic Enterprise Advance on a daily basis. It takes excellent still shots at a 48 megapixel setting. We're going to go ahead and make sure that we're going to go ahead and film this in 4K, I think, today, which is a lot different than what I normally do. There we go. And we're going to shoot in 4K today. 4K on this thing is only at 30 frames per second. Which is not bad, you know. I don't have any problems with that. And go from there. Now, right below us now is the main parking structure for our city employees. They go to a lot of our city places. The mall is directly across the street to the west, which would be at your, I guess it'd be the left side of your screen. You can see the fencing. Here, I'll go ahead and slow it down and I'm trying to think, would it zoom in 4K? Nope, hold on here a second. Nope, only in that's why I thought 1080p. That's why I usually leave it in 1080p for zoom purposes. As you see the chain link fencing with the dust control cover on it around the mall. This mall was built right around the early 70s. I want to say 1971, 72. When this mall was built, it was at its heyday during the late 70s, early 80s. And I'll say right about the end of the 90s, it started suffering a bit decline with the loss of J.C. Penney's and Montgomery Ward's were the two anchor stores, nationwide chain stores that left it. So at that point, it kind of lost its luster. So we're gonna come on back. All right, let's go forward, take a couple shots like I said I was gonna do. We'll get here. Try to get as much as we can in the screen. And say composition is everything. So we'll get one end and the other side. We'll switch over, stop, and we'll go into picture mode. Take a nice shot of it. Okay. We will be able to zoom in a little bit here. Adjust our camera setting. And we'll turn the camera just a little bit. Get another shot. Back out to our regular setting. Voila, get a nice shot with the mountains in the background. There we go. So what we'll do here is, now we're going to video mode. And we're recording and do a nice pan of the mall. So one thing I always tell people, don't be afraid to fly slow. Slow means smooth. And once you get used to it, you'll learn to fly a little faster and you'll keep it just as smooth because you'll learn to control the sticks. The biggest thing is don't get impatient on what you see on the screen or everything else, thinking the drone's not moving. It's moving just fine. And that's why you can look at your telemetry and they'll tell you if it's moving or not. Now, in enterprise drones like this one, as you see the bottom of my screen, you see the telemetry as far as my GPS settings is constantly changing. So I know the drone's moving. Plus, you can tell by the screen, you look at it long enough, it's moving, and go from there. I see a plane coming in. I think it's a UPS plane coming to the airport. I would like to flip it around so you guys can see it. Just let you know how you gotta keep an eye on your airspace even when you're out here flying. Even though I have a COA, I am still responsible for keeping an eye out for manned aircraft, either it be private or even commercial. And that's one of the biggest factors when the FAA talks about having visual observers and things of that nature, is because your other senses come into play a lot when you're flying. It's very often that we're watching our screens majority of the time when we're out flying, and we glance up and look for the drone, and we look back at the screen, we glance up and look. and all that kind of stuff goes on. But also your ears will help you hear aircraft coming, and then you can, like I say, you can turn around and identify the direction just by the sound. It's just like I can tell when the trains are coming, because the trains are lit off a signal, and depending upon the loudness of that whistle can give me a good estimation of how far away the train may be. And the same way with the aircraft. But sometimes, you know, aircraft can be deceiving. They could be right on the top of you, and the sound may sound like it's a little farther away. So always got to be aware, situational awareness, and aware of your airspace, especially when you're sharing it with manned aircraft, and even when you're sharing it with other RC aircraft. You got to be aware. So let's start a little slight turn here. Give it a little cinematic look. And then I will start to back the drone away. As we have completed our turn, and now the drone is flying backwards. And these are little small maneuvers that I practice all the time when I fly. It's like I say, you want to be smooth in your movements, not jerky. Make it smooth, make it cinematic. It makes it nicer when you're editing, doing post work, when you have smooth footage to deal with. And if I'm lucky enough to get into the aircraft, I will swing around and get that now that I got the footage from the mall. I do hear one, but it's like it might be going to Ontario Airport because I can't see it. I can just hear it. So it's got to be at least 10,000 feet or above. Okay, so we're done with our portion of videotaping. Yeah, I see it now. Yeah, it's at least a good, close to 10,000 feet up. All righty, so we are inbound. What's up? So that is it, folks. Brought it back safely, which is always the main goal. Always bring it back safely whenever possible. And like I say, use all the things that you have at your disposal, from your eyesight to your hearing and everything else that helps you navigate the airspace. So this is Dre, Recovery One Drones. As I always say, hang on, enjoy the ride, and please subscribe. Appreciate you. Thank you. Hey YouTubers, Dre Crawford here, safety officer for the city of San Bernardino. Also with Recovery One Drones. Out here today on another site. We have what we call a capital improvement project, which is basically projects that you're being financed through taxes. We're here doing a bridge replacement through the inner parts of the city, next to the courthouse. If I can get that, here's the courthouse right there, over my shoulder. And this is the bridge project. I'm gonna switch the camera around here, and you guys know what we're doing. Also, we have a project in the park going on. We're replacing playground equipment. We have San Bernardino's finest out here, helping clean out some of the homeless out of the area. And this is the actual bridge project here. Okay. This will be my third different drone I'm using today. This is my Mavic 2 Pro. And I always tell people, when you break out your equipment, always check it. Today, doing my pre-flight checks, look what I noticed. That little nip right there on the end of the propeller. Okay? Little things like this can cause failure on your system, or make you at least fly a little bit erratic when you're trying to control it. So always do the hand test on your system. And this right here is not because I hit something or whatever. It could just be, you see this cut out here. Sometimes the blades get on the edges or whatever, especially on the bottom. This blade was on the top right here. And it could have got this weak and it just nicked off because when I was putting it in, or taking it out of the case. Also today I use, with my Mavic 2 Pro, I use my Crystal Sky 5-inch version here with the controller. So we'll be getting a little busy here in a second. Backup SD card just in case something happens when it fails. Backup battery for the Crystal Sky. Several batteries here. I have a total of 6 batteries. I bought 4 out today. And I have a total of 6 that go with my Mavic 2 Pro. So as always, please subscribe and hang on and enjoy the ride. Come to the end of the first phase of the deconstruction of the Mount Vernon Bridge. We have an overview to look at what was and where we're at now. This first phase started in January of 2021 and proceeded through the following months. This iconic bridge that brought together the north and south side of the west side of San Bernardino has seen better days and is due for a definite upgrade, or I should say replacement. The next phase we'll be looking at will be what we call the infrastructure side, where all the utilities, power, water, gas, and electricity will be moved underground into different locations to bring services back across the railroad yard. So this is a final tribute to the Mount Vernon Bridge that has served this community for over 80 years. Hopefully the new bridge that will be constructed, probably starting sometime at the end of this year or beginning of 2022, will bring another 80 plus years of service to the west side of San Bernardino.
Recovery One drone. Let us be your eye in the sky.
Hey folks, Ray Crawford here again. Just giving you a quick update on the deconstruction of the historic Mount Vernon Bridge here in San Bernardino, California. As always, hope you enjoyed. Hang on, enjoy the ride, and please subscribe. Thank you. We go into the month of March. Deconstruction continues on the bridge. Now, just to remind you that while this bridge is being deconstructed, train operations continue. So it's not about just tearing down whatever's out there, but how we take it down. So at this point, and we've reached the midpoint of the bridge, we have brought in, I should say they have brought in concrete cutters to basically score and cut through the concrete like a checkerboard so they can lift individual concrete pieces away from the bridge. And we'll fly over, you'll see some of the cuts in the concrete, and then we'll see the final lift of one of the square blocks as they continue to deconstruct this bridge.
Recovery 1 drone. Let us be your eye in the sky.